G'day mates, welcome back to Todd the Tasmanian Tiger. You can just call me Stent. I must apologise for the rather late opening. I was admittedly having a few technical difficulties, let's just say with OBS, with resizing sources and whatnot. Anyways, I could spend a fair bit of time moping about that, but right now there's a whole bunch of rainbow scales that I'd like to collect. Unfortunately, in the second part, over in Pippi Beach, we ended up accidentally collecting one, which is rather unavoidable given the circumstances, but yes, rainbow scales are what we're going to be focusing on collecting today, and I'm just trying to remember if there was one in this path over here. Fun little tidbit is that a rainbow scale will appear where the talisman machine was once you finish with an area. Like for example, here we're in Bly Station. Nice Bly Station. It's weird it's called a station, but there is no station. It's just these two houses housed behind this gate. Never really got that, but should be two rainbow scales hidden behind each of these houses. I said that last spot would be the last we'd see of the collecting, but be it as it may, it seems as though there's a little bit more collecting, mostly revolving around this place, which we've only been looking around rather briefly. Good old Rainbow Cliffs. Honestly, I have a lot of fond memories of this place, mostly with regards to its music, its ambiance. It's generally just a nice place to hang out. But at the same time, I feel as though later games in the series cater the way for more areas which I'd like to hang out at even more. Should be another rainbow scale hidden behind here. Yep. I remember where most of these were. It may take me a little bit to remember where some of the more obscure ones were, but it shouldn't take too long compared to some of the others. Yeah, this is where the rainbow scale accidentally picked up was, just right by here. It's basically impossible to miss. Unlike this one, which is just right by where the talisman machine was again. Generally speaking, I think in most of these areas we get at least one new rainbow scale. I know that's the case with the area we're going to be headed next, but I want to save that till we're at the very end, because needless to say there is a fair bit, and I think I distinctly remember there being a fairly tricky rainbow scale to get to on this little central pillar here. But first, let's take a dive into this nice little deep pool of water. Where you can just sort of mess around and swim at your own pace. I can't help but feel this little beach area here, there was supposed to be a lot more to it, but that's something I'll divulge a little more once we open up the next area. For now, though, a lot of these rainbow scales are fairly easy to collect. Oh yeah, I think, yep, there was one behind the workshop. I knew there was another one hidden around here. Weirdly enough, you can't just go under there. And I think I already mentioned this before, but much like the Frosty Rang, the Zappy Rang didn't have this lighting effect on Ty in the original games. I do like it though, it's just one of those things which help differentiate it as an elemental rang, one of the super special rangs which you actually need to progress, as opposed to the techno rangs which are just generally fun to have. Okay, should be 10 more left just scattered around the place. I think we'll go to Lake Burrell next. Just clear that out before moving on to a very special place. I think you can see what I'm getting at there. I think there should be another one hidden behind. Yep. A lot of these rainbow scales are fairly obscurely hidden, but... well, some of them at least. A lot of them are rather more overt, like say for instance the ones here at Lake Burrell. They were quite easy to get a hold of. Then we come over to the waterfall. Quite an interesting little place. You'd think that it's kind of odd that there'd just be all this stuff here for these waterfalls which don't have much to them. Try keeping the waterfalls in mind though. They will be important later. Just as important as the contents. Like up here we have a rainbow scale. Keep this area in mind most importantly. We got this fun button. Let's see what the fun button does. Nice, we get a lot more of this puzzle platforming even in the overworld. It's just a nice little detail. I'll be honest, I do kind of miss having overworlds like this with actual stuff to do in them. You know, stuff to collect and test your skills. Like, I feel another good example would be Sonic Adventure with the emblems out in the adventure field. I mean, obviously there could have been more stuff to do in the adventure fields, but the emblems at the very least gave a nice little incentive to look around most of the time, even if some of the emblems were a bit of a pain to get. Thinking mostly of the one on Angel Island. Well, I say on Angel Island, it's between the landmass of Angel Island and the Altar of the Emerald, so being a little bit specific there. Right. I think this is where we need to create ice cubes in water. At least that's the most, the most constant of a way of being able to get a hold of that particular one. It's wild just how blue Ty gets with just this particular outfit. It's just wild. In fact, I'll just have a look, see what he looks like in the default. Yeah, definitely not as blue, and I'd say the pop's a little bit better, to be honest, but yeah, I think I'm going... Actually, let's see what the ghost one looks like. Oh, now he's just all blue. Yep, just in case you wanted an all blue, an all red, or an all green. I suppose that's a nice little fun skin, but I'm going to be sticking with the this one for reasons which we'll get into a little bit later, as I mentioned something about concept art in the past. This is where it comes back. Alright, I'm just trying to remember. I recall... Oh, here it is. There was the one that stumped me for the longest time. I feel there should be a few more hanging around here somewhere. I'm going to go and venture around a little bit more. I think there might have been one by Pippi Beach still. Because, like, they were free at Lake Burrell, they were free at Bly Station. But there only seemed to be two at Pippi Beach, unless I somehow missed one. Let's have a look, see. Nope, looks like I cleared out the area from what I can garner. So I suppose I may as well just I think it's about time. Yeah, I think it's about time we make use of the first of a whole 2 times we actually get to use the Zappy Rang in this game. Which it might seem like hyperbole, but just watch. First, let me just scour the lining of the cliffs here. Seems like the perfect area to hide a scale or two. Especially around here. I distinctly remember there being a scale somewhere amidst these pillars. I might have been wrong. Yeah, seems like it. That's a shame. Let's just move on to the gate now. This ever looming gate, which has just been taunting us the whole game. Oh yeah, there should be one or two around here somewhere as well. Should be. But yeah. See this generator here? See how it's inactive? Use the Zappy rank to jumpstart generators. There's a whole 2 of these in the entire game. Okay, so let's see, that's 23. Should be another one in around here. So, yep, there's one. And that just leaves one more rainbow scale, which I haven't found yet, of course. There's always one. Let's see, I think I did the lake. Let's see, I did that shore over there. Feels as though there should be one around here somewhere, but apparently not. I got the one by the lab. That one's over there. I got the ones by Pippi Beach. Did I get the one which would glide down? Yeah, I think I got that one. Count me perplexed. So you should be... Nope, not back there. Feels like there should be something behind that waterfall, but apparently not. Maybe something around this little area over here. Seems like a fairly conspicuous hideaway spot. Oh yeah. Forgot to mention this pie, which is mysteriously just here of all places, even though there's no real need for it. Normally that's supposed to be an extra life. You just casually come down here, get an extra life just in case you grow short, though. In this game it's not exactly something which you're in dire need of most of the time. Where could this last one possibly be? This seems like a fairly conspicuous spot. Seems like there should have been one around here. Maybe I was mistaken. It just seems like the perfect place to put a rainbow scale, you know what I mean? I will admit though, despite my misgivings, I have definitely enjoyed my time coming back to this. I always do, just my grievances aside, it's the sort of thing that makes me appreciate the later games, if that's any consolation. Let's see, maybe there's another rainbow scale under the water. Might have, seems like there might be. No, nothing here. Of course, at the last hurdle, I end up getting, stumped again. It's weird, because I feel it should have been something I could have easily picked up along the way. It's definitely strange. I got that one over there. I'm gonna check Bly Station again. Might have been something I missed. seems like the most overt place. Nope. It's one of those times where I really feel the most dumb, I must admit. This feels like something that I could have easily overlooked. Maybe it is something I easily overlooked. Hold on. In the meantime, I do quite enjoy these idle animations. They are, it's one of those things that just gives a lot of character. I know it's kind of obvious, just... It's one of those things that I've been led to appreciate after games like Forces. It was here the whole time.
I see you have found
Now I really feel like an idiot.
that were scattered across the land. As a reward for your ingenuity, I give you a special bunyip gift. The resilience of a great warrior. May you battle well.
Yep, and you may be wondering what that's all about, but that's going to be very important, especially where we're going, because if we go underwater, right here, you'll notice that we now have two paw prints in the corner. Basically, getting all the rainbow scales doubles our health, which is going to be very useful where we're going, because unfortunately, all good things must come to an end as we come to the final set of levels, starting with Cass's Pass.
Did you take care of our little problem?
I tried, but he's stronger than I thought.
He's stronger than you thought. How hard can it be? He's just a little orange rat.
He has friends. The bunyips are helping him.
What?
Or just the one bunyip? I've only seen two bunyips so far, and one was a power-up.
I need them to open the portal to the dream time so I can banish all those annoying warm-blooded mammals once and for all. Present company accepted, of course.
So why exactly is Sly working for Cass anyway?
On finding the talismans, then I say let him. My metal menace here will take care of him and steal back the talismans to boot.
He's got an even bigger and stronger robot,
Simple, it's brilliant.
with basically no wood in it.
No one has ever come back from this inhospitable place, so tread carefully.
So yeah, another rainforest level. This one's unique in that the exit to Rainbow Cliffs is right here, but what makes this one special is that instead of a nice collectathon, if we look at the map, it's basically just a big gauntlet. We just have to make it through here, and here's what the Chronorang does. It just slows them in place. I mean, it's funny to see them die in slow motion, but you can also just easily do this. It's crazy to think how Chronorang, supposedly the most powerful rang, is easily just invalidated by a rang you get midway through the game. It's honestly kind of crazy. But yeah. Talking about Sly some more, I get that he's basically supposed to be like, you know, the evil twin, the Shadow, the Hedgehog, basically, but I feel as though Sly doesn't really have that great of a character mode. I mean, at the very least, Shadow did have a character mode for working with Eggman, in which he was basically using Eggman as a means to an end in order to exact Gerald's revenge. But here, he's just working with Cass for some reason. Oh, we get before we go on that, a little bit of a tandem. The final one of these water slides. Seems only fitting that one of the most fun aspects of the game, if not the most perilous, gets its nice little send-off, and of course, since there's no opals to worry about, we can go all out. This, arguably one of my favorite tracks in the whole game, was just this nice guitar, especially like the little you know, dinosaur fossil thing there on the water slide. It's just one of those things that makes this one of the more memorable parts of the game for me. Generally, I will say, whenever I play this game, I do look forward to getting up to this part. I don't mean that to say that I'm looking forward to the game being over. It's just more so just looking forward to the music, the level themes, the challenge, the fact that you have all this stuff in your arsenal. It's just honestly great, I'd say. Oh yeah, and we also get to make use of the kaboomerang. No use to hold back anymore. I remember these platforms in particular being quite a hassle to time. Just gotta sort of wait around for them to line up just right. In the meantime, I can easily just clear away for us a little, just wipe out the entire population of this part of Australian rainforest. Full of these cool looking metal walkways which were hinted to us at Liar Liar. Nice little bit of continuity there, I must say. Even though you could just argue it's just reusing level assets. Anyway, Sly. We don't really know that much about him in this game, except for the fact that he's just, he looks like Ty, and he's working the boss Cass, but we never quite get a reason as to why he is, considering, you know, Cass is basically the reason that he and Ty are the last Tasmanian tigers, at least in this part of the story. So, I can only garner. I mean, the only thing that realistically makes sense for Sly siding with Cass is the fact that maybe Sly is some sort of mercenary, but even so, he seems pretty loyal to Cass, all things considered. I mean, I know in that little cutscene he threatened to thwack Ty with his deadly rangs at the prospect of a double cross. So maybe that's the only realistic thing I can think of for Sly's motive, the fact that he's just a mercenary without much of a moral compass, having grown up alone. I mean, another alternative is that, like how Ty was raised by bilbies, Sly was just somehow raised by Cass, which I'm not sure why Cass would go that far to do that, though admittedly he has spent a lot of time just milling about unknowingly, waiting for this opportunity to gather up the talismans again after, I'm guessing, like 10 years? 15? It's uncertain, but anyways, here we are at the end of Cass's Crest. This is the last we'll see of Maury for a bit.
There's a lot to strive ahead, so do your fair dinkum best to make it through in one piece, okay, Ty?
No worries.
Ah.
What's the matter, Maury?
Sorry, mate. I've just got something in my eye, that's all.
Nah, she'll be right, mate. She'll be right.
Good luck, Ty. Good luck.
And that was the most endearing Mori has been throughout this entire series. Anyway, here we go, on to the next level. Cass's Crest. We're presumably a meeting by Slay. I really got unnerved a little bit by the level art there with the just skull in the clouds. It's just super unnerving, really. Anyways, now we really start to get into the meat of things. Immediately we got sea mines and a whole bunch of frills just ready to ruin our day. And remember when I said in Outback Safari that to keep a note of what Shazza said at the end of that one mission where you help her against the frills? Have a listen to this.
You showed those frills a thing or two. By the way, one of them dropped this.
It's the same line. It's the same audio. Which... Let me just wait for this.
What are you trespassers doing in my cave? A talisman.
Going in a little bit of a different direction with the whole sexy bat aesthetic, though. But yeah, it's stuff like that which sort of leads me to assume that, along with stuff we'll see in the concept art later, that this game, at least at the very end, ended up getting a little bit rushed. Just you have a whole bunch of cut content, just as a means of just... They basically cut a lot of content to ensure the game got out the door in time, thanks EA. It's something which we'll also see a little bit more of in the concept art, but yeah, this is Shadow. A little bit different to the Shadow I know, and admittedly going in a little bit of a different direction with the whole gothic bad aesthetic. I mean, I definitely have a bit more of an appreciation for it now, but I will admit, when I was younger, she seems to have this sort of weird, kooky grandma aesthetic to her, but I'm not entirely certain anymore if that's the case, though I think that might just be a result of me getting older. So yeah, needless to say, the Kaboomerang basically trivializes a lot of the enemy encounters you'll encounter throughout this, meaning the main thing you just have to worry about is more of this lava from Rex Marks the Spot, so it is admittedly quite easy to get clipped by those lava spouts. I do find these quite amusing though. They're just the boomerang concept art with just this cross through it. Just not sure what that says for Sly, but it's amusing nonetheless. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be like a whole bunch of like extra lives here. I think that's supposed to be an extra life, along with some more of it, which we'll see in a bit. Let's see. Anyway, Shadow. As you can see, her it is another mini boss fight. You damage her basically by hitting the button to do these vents, and she goes down in 3 hits. Her main attacks are just sending a swarm of bats after you, using her sonic waves to bring stalactites down on top of you, and another move which I think we'll see in the last phase here, because I think we're coming up to the end now. I will say though, despite the whole cartoonish nature of these volcano bases, along with this and like Mount Battle from Pokemon Colosseum, it may just be because it's just something I've grown up with, but it's an aesthetic I especially love, especially with the metal platforms, which realistically should melt. Anyways, yeah. The Zoomerang is basically your best bet here for trivializing this boss fight, as you can probably notice. And apparently she doesn't fall into the lava and die. Apparently she just flies off and isn't seen again throughout the entire series, which is a shame.
Thanks, Possum.
Aww. They actually managed to share a kiss as Shazza walks off sideways. So yeah, that's technically the 4th talisman. Does it actually show up in the collect? It actually does. I wasn't expecting that. Not sure why not, but anyways. Now we just come up to the last part of the level. We actually get to see daylight. I want to have a look out at the clearing out here first of all. You can see this big 2 over here, referencing that it's the second big robot, as opposed to the first big robot from later on. Yeah, it's kind of weird that this supposedly evil lair is all sunny, considering last time we saw it, it was all in, you know, storm clouds and such. But one neat little detail which I want to point out here is on the map. Now you may have noticed that with on the map with past levels, uncleared objectives that we still need to do, were highlighted with a yellow question mark. And here, we got the biggest yellow question mark of all. It's just a little detail that I especially like about this game. But anyways, let's move on to this very familiar looking cutscene.
I told you.
Hello again, Sly.
I'm gonna enjoy this.
He just goes down like such a joke. It's so sad.
What are you doing? I'm giving you a hand, mate. Let go of me. You're gonna regret this.
You just wanted to hold my hand, didn't you? You're such a creep. Yeah, that scene really reminds me a lot of that one scene with Knuckles and Rouge in Adventure 2. You know, the final fight in Meteor Herd? But yeah. Kind of funny that we just have this climactic looking bridge here. But with no further ado, nothing to hold us back now, let's just move on to the final boss fight. Yeah, this is the final battle. And admittedly, it is one of those areas which I neglected to practice, unlike Fluffy's Fjord, because especially last time I played hardcore mode, this was especially tricky for me for a few reasons, which we'll get into once we've got into this final fight good and proper.
At last we come face to face.
There he is.
So you're the troublemaker I keep hearing about? Well, this is the end of the line for you, you meddling...
Having fun little animations there, just like Eggman in Adventure 1. Yep. Already taken damage. These flamethrowers will be the end of you. I can assure you of that. They have a very high range. They can easily just clip you like that. Easily just burn through your health, which you still only have 8 hits to get through all of this, with no health power-ups. Gotta be real careful about how you approach these, as they do track you, it seems. Fortunately though, we don't seem to be having too much of a problem with them so far. These flamethrowers are basically the main reason why I struggled so much, just to retain enough health to make it through the rest of the encounter, because it is quite large. And as you probably noticed, this whole this whole little section here, it's very Frosty Rang orientated. Makes sense. So yeah, down. Okay, we still got one left. So neat little detail here. You're supposed to use the flame rangs to break through these doors. The kaboomerangs work as well. But yeah, you're supposed to use the flame rangs to break through these doors. Conveniently enough, both of them open up. And here's another way your help can easily get chipped away. These flamethrowers here. There we go. Half our health gone already, and we come up to this little interesting place. We need to use the flamerang to break through these pipes and the cables in them. In the meantime, having to fend off infinitely spawning enemies. They are infinite. Mostly comprised of frills and blue tongues. Fortunately, though, I have several means of dealing with them accordingly. Megarang and Kaboomerang are especially useful here. You see that? He just spawned out of the ground. Yeah, you just use the Flamerang to break through the break through these wires. Actually, let me just check. Oh, you can use the Zappyrang to break these. Okay. Or at the very least break through the... See, look at that. They don't even do... They only do the same amount of damage as a normal boomerang. They don't even have the same damage bonus as the Flamerang. That's how useless the Zappyrangs are. Anyways, Zappyrang. You don't even need to use the Zappyrang at all in that encounter. Which is fine, it just means we get a Zappyrang encounter right now, right? Right. Sly, what are you doing here?
Ty, you'll need this.
Bryce Doomerang.
What are you doing?
What I should have done years ago. I'm giving him a hand, mate.
After all I did for you?
What? Lied to me? Good luck, Ty.
You traitorous Tasmanian tiger.
Shoot, beauty.
Okay, so I guess I was right about Cass raising up Sly like the Bilby said. Before we move on, just want to have a nice little look at this nice little view here. Got the whole cool little godlike beam in the sky, which I'm guessing is supposed to be Rainbow Cliffs. You just have the robot moving forward. It's a nice little detail, but yeah. We got introduced to the last of the boomerangs, the Doomerang. Here's how it works. You throw it, and then you can remote control it. No idea how this is supposed to work realistically, but I suppose it's not really the point. For this last section, yes, last section, all we need to do now is just guide this Doomerang down this shaft to knock out Boss Cass. Actually, before we do that, I kind of now showcase it later, the Doomerang. There's a nice little touch to it, which I'll go into a little bit later. But for now, what we just want to do is just maneuver the Doomerang. It's a little sensitive, but generally it's fairly intuitive to move about. Unless you're me and you're used to inverted controls. Which you'd think would be the case here, but no, it's just normal. I think it's similar to Ty's view. Well, I mean, I never really was quite the fan of the sound design in here. I guess the logic behind it was to try to make it stressful to throw you off, but generally speaking, it's not all that difficult, though. It can get a little perilous should you accidentally clip some stuff, because if you hit anything, you have to do it all over again. And so the hitboxes in here can make you worry a little. This really does feel like the end of Return of the Jedi, but there it is, there's the end. Nice little cool boomerang artwork, and just like that, the whole thing explodes. And Rainbow Cliffs looks entirely different now. There we go, there's the last talisman.
The talismans are back where they belong. Order is restored and chaos has been averted. All thanks to you, Ty the Tasmanian tiger.
No problem, mate. I'm just doing my job.
Ah, that's a cute little exchange, and yep, we even get Ty's parents back. After all this time, they don't even share any words. It just does that in the nice little I won pose. It is cute though, but yeah, that's basically it. We hope you enjoyed playing, and hope you don't mind, but I'm just going to speed through all these if I can. Yep, I can just do that, and so may as well wrap up my thoughts of this game. I definitely do have, as you probably guessed, quite a fond memories of this game. But see, look at that. Ty and Sly have the same voice actor, funnily enough. That won't last for long though. Oh yeah, and we got all these Kickstarter backers who got their artwork in the game. Definitely love this artwork, I must admit. So cool looking. Special thanks to all of these people here for letting this be possible. This is definitely the definitive way to play these games, I will say. But anyways, yeah. A lot of fun memories of these games. Definitely have shown their flaws, mostly with the general collectathon aspect of them, with how that's usually handled. Generally speaking though, whilst I do definitely prefer the later games with how they fleshed out the series identity a little bit more, I do still have a soft spot for this game, generally for what it's added and just for the memories, if anything else. Look at all these people who backed this game. It's crazy. I'm sure there's a lot of entertaining names in here, but yeah, for the sake of time, I'd like to just quickly scale through this, because there's still a little bit more we need to do. Still a little bit more. Still going, still going. Obviously not a problem, just it's crazy. Just how many people still love this game, still love this series, and me included. Honestly, I'm not certain as to when it'll happen, but I would definitely like to see a Tie 5. Just, you know, expanding off the stuff we got in Tie 2 and 3, and, you know, maybe some more modern sensibilities in terms of game design. Actually, you know what? That's probably not. Just, you know, some quality of life improvements, generally stuff along the lines of what they've done here with Tie 2 and 3, and I'd say we're golden, but anyways, yes, we got this little 100% bonus ending here for getting all the stuff. Just like we have Sly as Ty's Shadow, here we have Sai as Ty's Metal Sonic. I'm sure there's going to be a cool clash in the just the most epic of clashes in the next game. Can't wait to look forward to that. But yeah, as you probably noticed, nice little detail they added to the HD releases is the fact that after completing the final level, the final boss, you just get to keep the Doomerang, unlike in the ports where it was only usable in the final battle vanilla. Works pretty much the same here. It is kind of fun just using this to scope out a lot of the different levels, but seems unfortunately this Doomerang has a little bit of a range. There's a slight range nerf to it, as you probably see. That's what it looks like when it collides with stuff, by the way. It just collides and it explodes. Seems like what would be cool and devastating, but upon testing it, unfortunately, much like the Zappyrang, it only does about the same amount of damage as a standard Boomerang, which is especially disappointing considering your later iterations of the Doomerang, which are a lot more in line with what you'd expect it. But yeah, another thing, we're getting 100% completion. Got a couple of portals over here. We're gonna go over the top one last, but first we're gonna go into this bottom one, into Bonus World. I have a lot of interesting things to say about this one. The layouts with this and the other Bonus World are slightly different, but the maps are basically the same. And the main thing you get from these is, as you probably noticed, picture frames. Get all the picture frames and you 100% the Bonus World. Nice little fun tidbit about this Bonus World in particular is it's also the overworld map for the E3 demo. You see, you have this little path here which leads you to this portal. Should lead you back to Rainbow Cliffs. Normally, in E3 demo, this would lead you to, I believe, Walk in the Park as the first of one of two E3 demos. I think what we got here, I think this is considered the easier quotations of the two bonus worlds, as they do definitely have different layouts. And admittedly, for a long time I was a little bit more unfamiliar with the layout for this, despite it having arguably my favorite track in the entire game. It's just so chill and so the sort of thing that really sort of emphasizes what Ty is all about. Yeah, I think also over here in this little corner here you'd also get the a portal taking you to Bridge on the River Ty, as that was another E3 level. And we got another level over here there, which I'm not certain if there were only two levels in there, but it would probably make sense. We got generally speaking, these bonus worlds, these mysterious bonus worlds, which have this sort of map to them, generally they have a bit more of a sort of mishmash of all the various levels we've been to before. Like, obviously we got the Outback over here from Outback Safari. We have the Billabong. We have the Billabong basically in this lower area around here. We got Rainbow Cliffs basically as the central part. I suppose it's poetic in that sense. Seems like there should be a launching thing over here. Let me just go check. No, I think you just have to glide down. And over here, of course, we have an area based on the beach, which honestly I wouldn't be surprised if there was a portal to shipwrecks over here. It seems like the sort of level which would appear in an E3 demo. This level I'd certainly be proud of. And of course, to emphasize the snow levels, we have these fun ice platforms here still, which you can easily just go the wrong way around. Needless to say, if you come in here with the Infrarang, in fact I'll probably emphasize a small issue with that once we get to the other bonus world, because of course there's two of them. With this one, I believe, being exclusive to, at the very least, the PS2 version, possibly the Xbox version. I'll likely need clarification on that. But yeah, I believe we're getting fairly close to getting all the stuff. Fun little button there, which we can easily press with the Zoomerang. Which lowers some platforms somewhere, I can only assume. Guessing that picture frame didn't exactly fall into my hands, as it were. Let's go pick it back up. So yeah, this is basically the I may as well say it is going to be the last part of this. We've basically done everything. We've basically found everything there is to find outside of picture frames, which I am not doing. Mostly because I wasn't exactly familiar with it, and I'm just gonna say it will probably take a lot longer than even this has. I'm gonna see if I can glide down in order to get that picture frame. It's one thing I appreciate about the later games is that when they do the picture frames, when you break the invisible boxes, because of course they come back, they actually magnetize to you, as far as I'm aware. Also, the picture frames are handled a little bit differently in the later games. Here they're basically, outside of these bonus walls, they're basically all in invisible crates. Let me just check, is that all of them? There's still a handful which I'm missing somewhere. Where could they be? Probably in another invisible crate somewhere, hold on. There's probably a whole bunch of invisible crates going on around, and presumably the infrarang just going haywire. Nothing over here. Nothing over here. Oh yeah, I think... I will admit the bonus wall, which I'm more used to, which we're going to next, has a lot more fun stuff to do in it. Here it's just admittedly a little bit more basic, but it is nice at the very least how they've managed to reuse a lot of the this area from the E3 demo. It is a nice little place, especially with the music. Ah, there it is, this little blue button. And that should be the last of the picture frames for this particular instance. Guess I'm gonna need to use these spy eggs in order to get up there. Okay, so that's how it's gonna be, okay. Okay, game, I see what you're getting at. You just glide over here, and this should be all of them. Or am I wrong? Two left around floating somewhere. Where could they be? So you got okay, there was one hidden over there, and of course one hidden in that tree. Seems fitting, that I just overlooked one right at the start. And thankfully that one's fairly easy to collect. And then there's just this last one over here. I'm gonna keep the infrarang equipped just for the next level, just so you can see how haywire it goes. But yeah, that should be all the picture frames. Fantabby dozy. Let's get out of here. Move on to the final instance, the final area. The bonus world that I know and love. I will say though, it is certainly nice for them to include both instances of the bonus world, because you know there was going to be that one select group of people that were going to complain that their bonus world wasn't represented in the finished product. So yeah, right at the top of here, the harder one to get, because it's where that rainbow scale was, we got another bonus world. We go in here, got a female Bilby this time, and it's nighttime. I do love how we got A's rock in the background there. I love how dreamlike this map looks, but yeah. It's basically the same layout except some set changes, like for example that hut wasn't there, and a lot of the picture frames are now in different spots. Spots which I am admittedly a bit more used to. Still got this path going up here to walk in the park. We don't have the launching flower in this instance, instead we just have this nice little cool area. I gotta emphasize again, especially with how in this particular setting at nighttime, this is definitely my favorite track in the game. It's just so relaxing, and dreamlike. Oh, here it is. Here's the second and final Zappyrang generator. We got them all. I can tell the Zappyrang was going to be used for other stuff, but it just feels like it was so wasted in this game. Like, if you had to use the Zappyrang to cut those wires and you couldn't just do so with the Flame Rang, it would have been at least something. Here, on the other hand, you can go through the whole game basically using the Zappyrang twice. And you got this fun little thing here, which you need the Zoomerang for. So you gotta zoom over there, hit the button, activate the vent, and you just collect all of them in a row. It's so satisfying. Needless to say, I'm a bit more used to this one, because I believe this bonus world was exclusive to the GameCube version, which of course is the version which I grew up with. Thinking about it, I could have very easily gone through most of my life without ever owning a PlayStation 2. It's like the first two games I ever got for the PlayStation 2 were Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Gems Collection. Two games that I could have easily gotten on the GameCube and would have probably run better. Because, of course, the PlayStation versions of Heroes and Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog were notoriously poorly optimized. Let's see here. Alright, let's see. I think there's less of the picture frames here compared to the PlayStation 2 version. Just they can be a little bit trickier to get. Let me just hit that button again. Can't reach it with the Megarang, unfortunately. So Zoomerang it is. At least I think it was that one which made this platform go. I might have been mistaken. I'm pretty certain there's a whole bunch of other buttons around here somewhere. Ho-hum. Yeah, the platform's supposed to go up, it seems. It's just a matter of trying to remember where the button to make this go is. Was it that one? No, it wasn't that one. Oh, I remember. There was a button behind here as well. Inexplicably, behind this little corner which we wouldn't have any reason to go to in the original and the other bonus world, there's just a block of ice here. And that... yeah, that moves that platform. Almost forgot about that. How could I? This is my favorite iteration of the bonus world. I really feel there should have been more levels that took place at nighttime. It's just... I will say, Bridge on the River Ty is still the best level in the game. Just aesthetic-wise, mood-wise, level-wise, design-wise, just... it's one of those levels which just really sort of emphasizes what this series is all about, really. Got this fun little spy egg challenge here where you have to hit them all in a certain order, and I missed them. At the very least I can very easily just do that. And let's just check. Yep. Those last few apples should just be in those crates, though there may be still a few more that I'm missing. Is there one in this tree still? Is there one in the tree? There isn't one in the tree, there's just a whole bunch just sitting there enticingly on this platform. Let's grab them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more just scattered about the place. Of course, there's another one hidden in the outback, which I missed. And there's one over there which I can see. Question mark. Yep. I mean, it's technically in a tree, just not to the extent the other one was. So there's just one more floating around somewhere, which I've missed. Let's just pretend we don't see this, the artifact in there. Okay. Oh, there it is. It was just hidden under there. So yeah, that's the bonus worlds. Just using to gather up all these picturinos. And that's basically all. That's all she wrote, aside from going back and getting picture frames and all the other levels, which I am not doing, of course. We're donezo. That's it. It's over. Not sure what's up with that teleport effect as we move in here, but yeah, we're donezo. Which just leaves, I believe. Yep. Gonna go over the bonus features, which you unlock for 100%ing course. The picture frames that you pick up all throughout the game go into this gallery here. I've already done so in advance, and that's basically the original concept art they had to tie. The original design, at least. You can see he went for the funny Sonic-like sneakers and the fairly complementary greenish blue, bluish green. I can kind of see why they opted for the red though. It's definitely a lot more vibrant and fits better with all the yellows. Very warm palette Ty has. And of course they got rid of the shoes as well, leaving us with this design. And his very cartoonish proportions. A lot of concept art which they definitely... I definitely gotta hand it to George Stamatiatis. The artwork in this and the music in this is just... He is really what made the series what it is. Just injecting so much personality into it. I'm not sure what this series would be without him. I think that there was supposed to be some sort of prototype Shazza. You got Maury, of course, and Julius, and Ranger Kin. All the funny little Aborigine hieroglyphs there, which I feel I've only really seen in the menus, but I feel there could have easily been a bit more representation of that throughout the whole series. This whole aesthetic is cool. I'll just put it like that. There's a lot more character designs. We've got the kid Bilby, daughter Bilby, grandma Bilby, Cass. There's little funny little expressions. Such a fun little entertaining animated character. I do quite like how the thrillers is just like have tires as like shoulder pads. It's one of those things which just makes them so amusing. Of course, we've got Shazza. I'm guessing this was supposed to be a prototype design, considering she still has the crystal ring there. Here's a prototype for the Thunder Egg, just the universal purple look, which will be replicated in the later games. It's in general more sort of level concept art. Like here we got the Opal Machine, we got these leeches. Here we got Rainbow Cliffs, I'm led to believe, which weirdly enough at this point in development seem to have a lot more foliage, which they quickly stepped back from. Like I think this is supposed to be also an early plan for these games. All these little different holes in here being all the various different areas. Like you got you know, fire, basically a whole bunch of different little level sections, which looks to have been cut more so in half because I can see at least 7. A lot of them little fun areas like this. I think this is a little later on in development. It looks a little bit more like the Rainbow Cliffs we know. Like, you got the bridge there leading to the Blythe Station, then the turn off to Pippi Beach. Got that little corner there, which leads to some sort of jungle area, which I think might have been a bit more something they looked into. It's basically the area where that extra life was, weirdly enough. Guessing that's the entrance to Pippi Beach. Might also be the entrance to Pippi Beach, but it looks a little different. You got crazy looking designs there. That might have been a cool little thing to add. You got Julius's lab, looking pretty much the same as how it ended up looking, for the most part, though. Weirdly enough, it's better nick. Might just be the art speaking for it. You got the Julius's rang making machine. You got the sign for blah blah station. Got this weird looking tree thing, which I never made into the final game. Presumably that's the inside of that weird looking tree. You got these areas which you never went to, which might have been cool if like a sort of later level thing, like maybe doing what was initially planned with like Sonic, where you went through all the sort of natural levels first, but as time went on, you got some more technological, and it looked a little bit starting to get a little bit more dilapidated until eventually made to Scrap Brain. This holds similar vibes, I think. Like going through all these increasingly industrialized areas until you finally reach the final area. Thunderbox. I don't know why that's so amusing, considering it's just an outhouse. Even got toilet paper and all. Nice little color pads here. You got this crab enemy, which seems to have been heavily promoted early on, but one I've seen only really appeared in 2-up and maybe a couple of other levels, which is weird. I think this is supposed to be the entrance to Bly Bly Station. I might be wrong. Got all these funny little... Got the golden cog, got rainbow scales. You got the talisman area, so 5 talismans were indeed always planned. This cool little rainbow certain starting point, which I feel is something which has definitely been sort of diminished as the series went on. I'd love them to go back to having this sort of stuff in the games. That whole sort of mystical element I really liked. Got the talismans, obviously based off Mori. You got the 4th talisman, which is based off Shaz, which makes sense. You got Dennis, which I still think should have been Rangy King, considering Rangy King was a lot more prominent throughout the game. You got Rex, who helped us with regards to teaching us how to swim. And I suppose, fittingly enough, we have the final talisman based on Tai, just to bring it all full circle. And here's the most interesting part. As you can see, we got all the local designs. You got Fire, Ice, and Lightning, but you got a 4th one there, which is based on Earth. Presumably going off the, you know, the classic 4 elements: fire, water, earth, air. I mean, water is technically a, ice is technically a form of water, and lightning is usually associated with air. But then you have these yellow Earth opals, which presumably means Earth Thunder Eggs, and a presumably Earth-themed boomerang, which I'm guessing would have operated similarly to the Kaboomerang if I had to guess from how Earth Elementals were later utilized later in the series, that's what I mean. Got the Magnet power-up, which we never got. Definitely quite the lightsaber if you end up missing an opal. Got the picnic baskets, you got this these chrome chompers, which we never got. I'm guessing these are supposed to give you a free megabyte. Weirdly enough, I don't think I've ever actually seen one of these in game. I'm not even certain if they are in the game. And then we got the concept art for the standard boomerangs. You got the Tai standard boomerang, you got the flamerang, got the frosty rang, a nice little crystalline effect. No idea how Tai holds it without getting frostbite. Got the zappy rang, which not entirely certain how much protection Tai's leather gloves offer him against the electrical discharges of that. And then you got the Zoomerang. Nice little telescopic scope there. You got the Multi-Rang, which basically just looks like an upgraded version of the Boomerang. This will come back when I play Tai 2, which won't be immediately, just keep that in mind. Got the Boomerang, of course, which I'm guessing the fins are supposed to be the Explodarium. I'm led to assume. Got the Megarang, which looks oddly plain given how seemingly more sophisticated it is compared to a lot of the other ranks, and especially compared to how it looks in the later games. Got the Emperor-Rang, of course, and the Chrono-Rang, which I still don't get what they were, what the idea was with the Chrono-Rang. I mean, it's a cool concept, but it's a concept that is already served by a rank you already get, you're already guaranteed to get. It just seems like this could have easily been something else. The Aqua Rangs, of course, I really like the design of these. Got the Doomerang, of course, which, let's just say goes through quite a few design changes as the series goes on. Here it's its most simplistic, I feel, and I will admit it is kind of weird why Ty's dad would have such an edgy looking Rang, but I think it's explained more in the Doom Ranger comics. I'm pretty sure it's more sort of a family heirloom than anything. And of course you have the arrows, you have the Thunder Egg Tally, these fireworks, which I'm not certain. I don't think there was ever anything to. I don't think we ever came across any fireworks, which is a shame because that would have been potentially a cool looking section. Got shipwrecks, of course, one of the more fleshed out levels, especially with the Little Mermaid style sunken ship and the sea mines. And still have no idea what. I still forget what these sorts of fish are supposed to be. The fun little small crabs. Well, those are small eels, apparently. And the boats from Rex Marks the Spot. The funny lobster from Snow Worries. I don't think we ever saw any manta rays in Shipwrecks or Rex Marks the Spot. There might have been some of the smaller creatures. Those beefy boys I certainly remember, though. And so they had jellyfish planned as well, and hermit crabs, and starfish, and not entirely certain what that symbol's supposed to be in the center of the clam. I'm sure it would have made more sense at an earlier part of development. And of course, we got Janie's Crave, which.
Computers, internet, mobile phones, that drives you mad.
I mean, I get it's a funny kids game, going on a funny little yo-ho pirate adventure, but I gotta wonder what exactly happened to the Janie. Was it Wedgwood's ship? It's one of those things, really, which results in me just looking into it a little too deeply here. Got quite a fair bit of concept art, though. It's weird just how fuzzy Rex is, I must say. Those funny little sharks with the chicken wire cages. And the air platforms, which do remain a staple in the series, even though they're, it is kind of interesting how they work. We never quite get an explanation for how it works, but I'm guessing they're fossil fuel based considering the fumes they give off. I'm guessing they run on petrol. Along with these pistons, apparently. It's weird because I'm pretty sure we hear these birds all throughout the game in certain areas, especially in Rainbow Cliffs, but I don't think we actually see them in game. Dragonflies we definitely do, though. There's Dennis. Funny little Dennis. I feel that he was planned to have at least at least one more level dedicated to him. It just seems kind of weird that he's represented on a talisman, one of the key things in this game, and yet he only has one level dedicated to him. I mean, it is the best level, but it's still strange.
Kids these days, computers, internet, mobile.
I was gonna say, I don't exactly remember the hazmat infos, but I better just remember the oil level from the oil section from Outback Safari. Weird that I don't remember that, considering it's one of my favorite bits. But these buzzsaws, so it seems like a lot of this, like a majority of the stuff they had planned did go into the game. I'm guessing this is supposed to be Bull's Pen? Yep, it's Bull's Pen. There's a Bunyip Elder, which seriously just disappears for the rest of the next game. You got the Bunyip Warrior, which it's kind of weird that they never brought this back. I mean, he only ever appears in 3 levels, which why didn't he appear in more levels in that case? It's weird too, because it's not like it's not a fun power-up. I definitely have a lot of fun using it. I guess it's just They went back on it because it didn't have the same sort of range implements. There we go, Little Nettie's shield. So they're not Shield Netties, they're Little Netties. Good to know. Still got all the stuff from that is definitely a weird thing though. They had this big deal about Boss Cast using this mill to build something, presumably the robot, but from what I've seen, there's basically no wood at all throughout the giant robot we fight at the end, so what exactly was Cass using this for? The only other thing I can think of is Cassopolis in the next game. Oh, boss 1, so was Bull not planned to be the first boss? I'm guessing it was shifted around a little bit later in development. It's a shame too, because I feel that Nettie could have easily come back as a more prominent character as well, yet we never see this iteration of Nettie again, or I believe this flying squirrel character at all. I'm sure she would have made more of an appearance in the later levels had they been developed, but it's one of those weird things, really. I'm not certain whether or not I can't remember whether or not she was brought back and developed more in the later games. I'm thinking mostly Tie 4 would be the opportune place. Seems we have a lot more stuff here for Walk in the Park, and the Talisman Machine. Yeah. It's generally a lot of stuff which we've already seen, like the famous Rang and Stone part, which I'm not gonna question. I mean, the series seems to operate a lot on rule of cool, which I can respect. It's more so just me needing to acknowledge that and just shut up a little bit about it. Here's Danger Spike, and Dennis's little comfy little house, and his little arena. So it's quite clear that a lot of the stuff was planned well early in development, like this little dive tower, which I still feel there should have been more of throughout the game. It just feels weird that they have this little cool fun minigame that only use it once. Same with the Bull. Same with Outback Safari, actually. I feel there could have easily been another level like that where you play as Bull. I suppose there's the word that it could have outlasted its welcome, but I think at the very least twice would have been fine. There's the generator, which there were only 2 of in the game. And here's a little we actually get names for all the koala kids. We got Dubbo, Booney, of course, Gummy, Snugs, Elizabeth II, God bless, Katie, Kiki, and Mim, who all use the same voice for when you're nearby them. At least in the HD ports. I think in the originals they just had a whistle, which granted was harder to pick up, but took you out of the game a little less. They are definitely cute kids, though. Of course, you have these kangaroos, which the first level made such a big deal of. What was up with that, anyways? It's like they hyped these guys up to be super tough, and then they just don't appear throughout most of the game. You got the ticks, which replaced the leeches in Liar Liar. And here we go, the big shadow beasts. Coming in 2 different flavors, blackcurrant and poisonous. Seems weird they would just have ice spiders, but I suppose they would. Sorry, I suppose they would blend it a little more. So yeah. Got the fun little cricket lizards as well.
Computers, internet, mobile phones, it drives you mad.
I suppose that cricket representation had to come in somewhere. Got these little spy cam things which never got used. Got the rope pontoon, which weirdly enough was only in the game once in Bridge on the River Ty. I feel that could have been easily expanded upon in more levels. Got this, the viewing platforms for the ski lifts. Got good old Sheila, poor old Sheila. Hopefully she can rest easy now, considering I don't think she appears throughout most of the games going forward. And I think this is Crikey's Cove. A lot less stuff going on here compared to last time. Just have the weird lighthouse there, which you can easily just go up to. That really was weird about Crikey's Cove, how big and open it was, despite the actual boss being confined to this small area. I mean, it was definitely a nice looking area, but it's just so strange. I feel as though that had to be part of another level. At least at some point. Like, maybe one of the later levels you have this nice, fun little barrier reef level at sunset in order to, sort of close out. Maybe a lot more industrial stuff, like maybe dealing with, cast polluting the barrier waters. You got Crikey, of course. Weird that we don't get any concept art of Crikey without the armor. That might come a little later, but yeah, we got also the fun pontoon with the snake thing. And the octopus's name is Ringo. I know it's a blue-ringed octopus, which makes going up against it in Rex Mox's spot even more harrowing an experience, but now I just can't help but think of the fourth beetle. Got these sheep here, which I think only exist in Outback Safari, and the expression definitely reminds me of something. Like another cartoon of some such. Maybe it was Sonic Boom, maybe it was Futurama. I can't say for certain. Got the racing wombat. See, he even has a tattoo. Of course he has a tattoo. There goes Big Red Button. Rest in pieces them. And the fun little billboards which replace the signs in Outback Safari. It's just so much stuff in Outback Safari which only gets used in one level. It just feels like a bit of a waste, in all honesty. Like a lot of this stuff, especially in the midsection of this game, like the Pippi Beach area, a lot of the stuff included in there is definitely cool stuff, but I feel it's just not really implemented enough, and it just sort of goes to waste a little bit on just having one level. I'm guessing this is the house where you find Princess Orchid. You got this little funny area, which I think might have been... It looks like Beyond the Black Stump, but I think it might have also been in Walk in the Park. Yeah, I think this is supposed to be in Beyond the Black Stump, so I think it was... it wasn't one of those which was planned late in development, which is nice, because I definitely think it was a very cool climactic level. You saw how much I marveled at the skyboxes, but I think it looked great, especially with how dramatic the music is. It was just overall a great experience.
Kids these days,
not counting the collectathon aspects. Got these little fun cows here, which just yeah, we seem to be coming up close to the end now, the last 50, with these fun little skulls. This emu character, which I think wasn't in the final game. And these barrels here, which I think might have been... No, I don't think those were the propane barrels from Crikey's Cove. I think those also were just unused. A fun little twist... Oh, here we go, fat emus. There's separate sections of the game can read emus. Okay, that's a nice little technical thing they did there. These electric fences, which I don't think were ever included in the game, I think that might have been interesting to use with the Zappy just sort of use them to overcharge the electric fences so you can just traverse them as normal. Got the blue tongues, of course. I'm not certain what sort of skulls are supposed to be around their necks, but I certainly hope they're not real. Because that has its own sort of dark implications. Generally, this whole game has a lot of dark implications, especially the later games. I feel the tied to especially, it sort of reins it back in a little bit. So it doesn't have stuff like just skulls everywhere. Got the invisible crates here, of course. I feel a lot of the details on them didn't exactly transfer quite as well over to the how they looked in the game, where it looks like they have like broken glass scattered across them. But these fun little areas, I think these are also supposed to be from Beyond the Black Stump. They got the ice cave here, which I think was supposed to be at the end where you get to the portal. You have just this fun little bushfire. There could have been easily more bushfire levels, like final layer you have a bushfire in a billabong or a bushfire in a rainforest. Just generally playing on that bushfire idea more often. That I feel that would have just been so great as just a way to build up to the climax. You have Casgas here, which it is definitely quite amusing, but I don't think those were in Outback Safari. I think they might have been cut. Or maybe I just didn't notice them when I was just scrambling around looking for opals. And this, I believe, is the map to walk in the park. There you got the start there with the stopwatch in the top right, and you just mosey on around to the various walkways in which you make your way up. All the way up across the logs and up to the water slide, which just zips around. You have the middle section there with the cave and the various walkways. And walking the park, I feel, is definitely one of the more well thought out little designs, given how it's basically just a loop. I feel it's just so weird that we don't get more levels like that. I mean, I guess technically you could count Rex Marks the Spot as a bit of a loop with its main mission, but not quite. And here, of course, we have concept art of the Blue Tongue mission from Walk in the Park. You just use your rang to hit the boulder, hit the lizard, go splash. And we also have the layout here to Bridge on the River Ty. You got the bridge, the walkway. You can mostly tell just from the bridges, really. You got Neddy's Arena there at the top left, the top right, and Denny's little house in the bottom right. I will admit the layout does look a little bit different from what I remember. Like, mostly the positioning of the ramp there up onto the bridge. I'm guessing they moved it because of issues with pathfinding, I can only assume. It just seems so weird that it's just one of those things where you just look at it and you feel like you're going mad. That sort of thing. Of course, we have the toxic waste dump from Outback Safari. And here we're getting into a bit more the standard stuff. The Chrome Studios logo. Mostly dictated by the massive O with the red orb in it. I generally like how this poster looks. It generally looks, I feel, quite striking, to the point that they would indeed use it a lot in the next game. And of course, we have Shadow, who I sort of get the feeling that's basically a goth girl who's a little bit over the hill, as it were. She's let's just say she's still quite handsome. Yeah, let's just go with that. Let's go with that. She's handsome. I do dig the short hair though with the highlights. That's something I always appreciate. We've got Sly here, of course, with his deadly rang. Even as far back as this, they were called deadly rangs. And as you can see, he also has a skull on his belt. Something which he retains, I believe, throughout the whole series. The deadly rangs, I believe, don't get much of a design change at all. Here's the fluffy robots. Both versions of it. Definitely, I would say one of the more fun fights in the whole game. It was the most involved at the very least, even though it was a little bit cryptic at points. And look at that, Fluffy here has like, gee Fluffy, how come you get 6 tires instead of 2? I guess basically it's more so 3 tires cut in half. You got the fun little door from Cass's Crest, and generally a lot of stuff which it sort of feels like this might have been a little later in development. Especially this part here, which I'm presuming is Cass's control room, which you never actually see. Reminds me a lot of the control room of the Eggman robot in Sonic Movie 2. There you go, you got those flamethrower targets, which usually just clip for your health. And I'm guessing the weird crystals that were surrounding the wires are more sort of cooling crystals, which is why you need the flame ring to break them. And here we go, we got the Ty's extended family. You got Bry. I don't remember the rest of them, but here they all are. I quite like how this one looks. Mostly with, you know, the hair. Good color palettes. And here we go, Beryl and Squeaver. They had a nice little Easter egg in Outback Safari, and let's just say in the second game we'll be seeing a lot more of them. It's a shame they got omitted from this, because I do definitely think they're quite an entertaining couple. And here's Sai, of course, the Metal Sonic of this series, and definitely looking forward to seeing how he, what role he plays in the next game. That's going to be great. And right here we also get, weirdly enough, the concept art for Ty's design in the next game. Seems that they were already planning this as far back as this game. And then, number 250, the Proto-Rang. This one is definitely quite interesting. It looks like it might have been a result of the sort of Rang which would have resulted from the Earth Thunder Eggs. You know, maybe being the sort of Rang which could break through steel containers and deal the most damage to opponents. Basically the Smasher Rang in later games. It just feels so weird about this Proto-Rang, because it was featured in E3 trailers for the next game, and yet it never appeared in the next game. Even with the HD re-releases, the Proto-Rang is just nowhere to be found. So, and it's perplexed me for a long time. Just what is up with this thing? Why was it cut, and what role would it have played? How would it have worked? Would it have been any different to the regular Boomerang? I need to know. But aside from that, yes, that's all the concept art, which means we get to move on to some of the fun movies. We get all the for clearing the game. We get all the events here. I think that might have also been a little bonus for getting all the picture frames and 100%ing. But first off, we want to have a look at the Chrome logo from 2002. It's so weird why they never brought this back for the HD re-release, because oh, it's so great. This is the xylophone. I suppose it would have been a bit of a pain for them to try to remaster, but considering, of course, they didn't remaster any of the other cinematic FMV cutscenes, still love that little Chrome bumper sticker though. In fact, I kind of wish they'd bring that back in some way, shape or form next time. But another thing I wanted to just briefly go over right here is just the various prototypes, and first, most favorite of all, the outtakes, which were just them goofing off while they were in development, as you probably see with the glitching out there. He was not worthy. Oh, this one's a classic. I kind of wish they did more games did stuff like this. Just, I know it's technically stuff away from dev time and the game industry as it is. It's just can't really afford stuff like this, but it's just such fun to see, even if it's not 100% fleshed out. But anyway, here's something that's a little bit interesting. I think these were added for this HD re-release. We get various different prototypes of different stages of the game. Let's have a look. The first playable prototype, you can see his idle animation is a little bit different. His running animation is a little different, and the camera is a little bit... basically, a lot of it is in a primitive stage, especially the lack of a throwing animation. It looks more like the multi-rang, which I suppose is where the inspiration came from. You know, the fact that you can just... Look at that! Look at that! You just throw out so many boomerangs at once. Also, yeah, I'm guessing there was no lighting engine and the collision wasn't quite finalized yet. I'm guessing this is supposed to be at least some primitive version of either 2-Up or Bridge on the River Ty. I'm guessing Bridge on the River Ty, considering that one was in the E3 demo. On it's updated, so we get some just general purple opals now, and a UI that definitely reminds me of early 2000s sort of PS1 games. Something which, I mean, I guess Rayman 2 is the one that comes to mind. Also got the lighting engine installed, and it's weird that this test level is based at night and there's only one night-based level in the entire game. Just feels like that's something they could have easily made more use of. You've got the gliding, which looks weirdly more awkward than previously. And there's those crab enemies again, those purple crabs, which only appeared in 2-Up, weirdly enough. Still, I do definitely quite like how this this demo is lit. It's as well as how Bridge on the River Ty was it. I can only say so many times how there should have been more night levels in this game. It looks so good. It looked great. It just makes them a lot more distinct. Like, you could have easily had like a snow level at night, going out in a blizzard, or rainforest level at night, dealing with all the various dangerous wildlife in there. Just would have been great to see, honestly, especially with how the torches lights up the place. It just looks so comfy. Even if it is 2001 technology. There's prototype Shazza there. Look, even she has idle animations. Okay, first pitch. Okay, it seems like it was going to be a bit more standard, you know, Ty having to save the girl. She's sassy though, she's got that going for her. There's the Bilbies as well. So I guess rescuing the Bilbies was always something which was planned from the off. It's weird that we never got frill lizards with blue markings. It's just the green eyes which really just remind me of a certain blue boy. It feels so weird that they went with green eyes, considering the other marketable Anthro character, which also happened to have green eyes around that time. We are getting this nice little bumper. Still great. And we get this weird area here, which looks like it might have been a more primitive version of 2-Up, except it's a lot bigger. It feels weird that they never got any sort of version of this level throughout the whole game, because it definitely looks like it would have been interesting to go for it. What was that weird spinning animation Ty did in the throughout the game, that in the water? That generally a whole bunch of stuff here, which looks like it might have been interesting to actually play through. Here we got that big industrial thing from Cass and the Blue Tongues. There was a Jeep section, believe it or not, which I suppose was replaced later on by the Bull section. Not to very well worry though, we do get our fair share of Jeep sections, and this music, which is often associated with a lot of promotional material throughout this this series. So the Flame Rang and the Frosty Rang were at least, and the Doom Rang apparently were also planned fairly early on. Nice. And lastly, if we, yeah, the final trailer for E3. Let's see how different this looks. Bridge on the River Thames, no worries. Walk in the park. Got bridge again. The opals definitely look different. They're a lot less bright, which I suppose is why they changed them. And the Thunder Eggs were just straight up purple, it seems, at this point in the game, before being changed to represent the different areas. I will admit that's definitely a change I definitely appreciate. Just sort of a nice little attention to detail. These shipwrecks looking more so early in development, and Walk in the Park. So maybe Shipwrecks wasn't quite ready for E3. It seems Bull's Pen was ready for E3. You got the weird boats in here, which were weirdly not included, and there were pitfalls on the water slide, and Snow Warriors was early on in development. It's quite crazy to think, in all honesty. There are all these cutscenes, which only some of them appeared in the game. And there again, ending with Bull just skidding to a halt there, which weirdly enough never showed up throughout the whole game, but needless to say, that's basically everything I wanted to do. So we'll just go back into the bonus world for a little bit. No particular reason, just generally think this is just one of the prettiest levels, especially just look at that over there. Just the fact that we have Ayers Rock here, it's just seems like the perfect way to, in order to bring this whole full circle, just bringing us back to one of the most iconic places in Australia. But needless to say, that's all I wanted to do for the Tasmanian Tiger. I can only hope you found some enjoyment in this, but needless to say, whilst I do plan on playing the later games in the series, it won't be right away, but because first, I feel with these shooting stars going across the sky and where the stream, the technical difficulties with the stream have been plaguing me, I can only assume it's an omen of some sorts. Until next time, I'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.